Welcome back to SketchUp Developing Wireframes. All of you have now reviewed the video number 1, SketchUp Basics, where we went over the tools that we will be using for constructing wireframes in SketchUp. So we're at a blank screen here, as we talked about, and we do have our person in here. You can leave them there if you want or work around them. So as we spoke, if you need to refer back to the check sheet, the tools check sheet to help you remember, that's perfectly fine. But we're going to start off with the measuring tape. So I'm going to click that. I have my measuring tape. And I'm going to make my bottom left-hand corner here at the axis. So it's easy for me to kind of find my way back if I get lost somewhere. So I'm going to just double-click on the green axis. And remember, our measurements are interior dimensions because we are working in an interior environment. So I'm going to click and move outward in the red direction. And I'm going to go out a full 8 inches for my exterior wall. The inside of my space is 24 feet. So I want to go in the red direction and I want to type in 24 feet. And you can see it went way over here. So I'm going to go back and use my pan tool. And you can see this is where my 24 feet is. Back to my measuring tool, I'm just going to use a general 8-inch exterior wall. I'm going to use this for the other side of my room, so I'm double clicking, left click, and I'm coming out 6 inches for this particular interior wall. And then the inside depth of my room is 15 feet. So I type 15 and the foot designation. Shows up right down here in the bottom corner. And again, 15 feet and enter. And this is another exterior wall, so I'm making that 8 inches also. So you can see, I'm going to go ahead and pan over. This is the full extent of my room that I'm going to be working on. And in this particular case, I'm going to be creating my perspective looking in this direction, heading in this way. So I'm going to start laying out kind of where my door is. And I have a set of double doors on this side of the room. So I'm going to use my measuring tape. And I'm going to come over 12 feet. Let's say 12 and a half. Didn't even look. Let's measure it. So if we click here and drag it in the right direction, that is 12 feet. Alrighty, so that's okay. And now I want my window, or excuse me, my set of doors here is a full 5 feet or 60 inches. And I can put either one in. So that's where my door opening is. And because I'm not going to be elevating this wall, I'm just going to draw in the rectangle. I'm going to draw my walls with a rectangle right here. So I start on the bottom corner and I drag all the way to the top corner. And that creates my rectangle. And now I can go ahead. I'm not doing this one either, and I do have a door on this wall. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to take a measurement from here that is 5 feet or 60 inches. And then I have a 30-inch door, so I'm going to type in 30 inches. So now I can go ahead. I may have to swing. Do you see how my man is kind of in the way? Maybe what I'm going to do is use the move tool. So I'm going to select my little man here. And I'm going to use my move tool, and I'm just going to move them out of the way of my room. I will be able to bring them back in later. I'm not erasing them, I'm just moving them. So now I can finish off my wall. Oops, sorry, rectangle. See how I have the box and the pencil. So outside corner to inside corner. Outside, see I get the intersection, and I go up to the opposite corner intersection. Then I come from the outside corner to the inside corner, and then the outside corner to the inside corner, and then the last part of my room. So those are all my walls that I'm going to need in my room. Now, because all of my guidelines that I have right now are all are there for my exterior walls, I could come in and go ahead and put in my doors and my door swings, but I can also come back and do that later. If having a lot of guidelines bothers you, you can always come in and shut off, or actually delete some of the guidelines that might be confusing for you. So the next step that I want to do, remember this is the main entrance, it's a double set of doors, and this is the door that goes into the bathroom and the bedroom. So now I'm going to go ahead and just stand up my drawing just a little bit more so I can see it more in plan. I have a much better view. That's important. Don't try to look at it too flat. It makes it very difficult to try and measure. So in this case, I have 12 inches over, and then I have a 30-inch nightstand, and then probably about 2 inches from the bed. My bed is 7 feet. It's a king-size bed. And then I'm going to give myself another 2 inches between the bed and the nightstand. Remember, we don't want anything touching or overlapping. And then I'm going to do let's do another 30-inch table on this side table. Now, I don't want my furniture to be right up against the wall, so I always come in, and from my back wall, I always pull it, and again, we're going to move in the green direction. You see my line is green. I'm going to move out 2 inches, and that way I don't get any conflict with anything happening there. My nightstands are 18 inches deep, and my bed, again, I'm going to come here, click, then move your cursor in the direction that you want to go, and my bed is 7 feet in this direction also. So now in my floor plan, I can go ahead and with my rectangle tool, I can put in a rectangle for my nightstand, a rectangle. Now see how I got the wrong line there? See how I overlapped it and now these are touching? We don't want that to be the case. So under Edit, I'm going to undo rectangle. And that probably means that I am a little bit far away. So I'm going to get just a little closer so I can better see my intersections. And that's a very quick pan command. And now it's much easier for me to see this corner right here. What I'll probably do is work from the outside corner. That's my line command. Undo my guide. Undo guide. Go to my rectangle. And I'm going to go from the intersection here, holding it down and dragging to the far intersection. And then my last nightstand, which is, come on, give me the intersection. There we go, the intersection. So I have a nightstand, I have my bed, and I have a nightstand. Now, over in this area, I have let me pan over there. I have a seating group in this area. So from here, I'm going to put in, I have a little love seat. And from my measurements that I did from my plan, I came over a full 24 inches. Let's do 30 inches. My love seat is 60 inches. And then it's 60 inches wide, and it is 34 inches deep. So this is my love seat, is right there. All right, now 18 inches, which is the standard clearance. I'm going to come out, let's do 18. And then I have a 36-inch table. And then from there, I have 2 chairs that are 36 inches apiece. Making sure that I have the correct line here. So I'm going to start my chair. These are turned at an angle, so I'm going to pull them off the wall about 12 inches. And then 36. And then I'm going to leave again about 6 inches in between them. And then another 36 inches. Oops. Did I miss that? Oh, that is 36. Okay. All right, so I already have that. It was a double line. So let me get out of this command. I'm going to pan over so that I can better see my chairs. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the boxes of my chairs. So here's one chair. And here is the other chair. All right, so those are my 2 36-inch chairs. Now, I am going to want to move this over just a little bit at some point. I want to just double check my measurement between here and here. So I have 3 feet 2 inches. Okay, so that's good. That will work just fine. So now I have this coffee table that's in here, and I think I'm going to, instead of going the full 18, I'm going to pull that back to 12. And then I have a 36-inch table. And I want to make sure I'm in the green direction. See the green arrow? It's a little hard to see. And then if this is 5 feet, I'm going to put a line down the center because I want it to be centered. So I put a line to the center line of my sofa. And see how I can just move over and double check that? So that's my center line. And this is, so I'm going to go 20 inches in this direction. And I'm going to go 20 inches in this direction. And then that will be my rectangle for my table. So there's my, oop, I think I drew it too long. Undo. I picked the wrong line. I have too many lines. I should be erase some of my lines here. There it is. 20 by 36. And it is centered on my table. Now I'm going to get rid of some of these lines because I'm starting to get quite a few in here, and they're going to start getting distracting here in a minute. So I just hover over the top with the little circle that's on there. And don't need that line anymore. Or that line, or that line. I can always put them back very, very easily. If I realize that I've missed a line that I need to have for a reason, let's just say I needed a line from the edge of this chest of drawers, I would come in with my measuring tape, and I would simply find, I try not to go to a center line. Center lines have different attributes, so I try to go somewhere other than that. And if I'm on there, then I just double click, and it will put a line right back where that was. So that's quite simple to do. I also don't want this chair, because I'm going to turn this chair. I'm going to give myself a 3-inch kind of border there. So I want these chairs kind of at an angle. So I'm now going to turn them. Remember we discussed the rotate command. And this is on the face, so I click it, then I turn it in the direction that I want it to rotate, and I click again, and then it gives me free rotation. So I think about a 15-degree angle is perfect. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to click, and I want it to rotate in this direction. And, oh, see, I don't want it to overlap there. So see, if I turn it at my 15 degrees that I wanted, then it's going to overlap, and that's going to cause me some trouble later. So I'm going to get out of this command, and I'm going to simply move my chair out a little bit so I have more room to rotate it. Now I'm going to rotate in this direction 15 degrees so that it now matches this one. So now if I want to, I can come in and put in a guideline that matches this edge. So I know I want this edge and that edge to match. So now I'm going to move my chair, and I'm just going to move it forward and over just a hair, and I'm just going to line it up on that line visually. So they look approximately the same. Now I have a circular table that sits in here, so I want to find kind of the midpoint in here. So in this case, I probably won't measure. I know that this is all midpoints because this is the midpoint of the table, which is centered on the sofa. So I can put a line in there, and then off of this, I want to come out at least 15 inches. No, 15 doesn't look quite right. So I'm going to come out 18 inches. Let's do 20 inches. That looks much better. Now I'm going to go to, let's see how much room I have in here. My red direction, I think I can put in a 14-inch table. Okay, so undo that measurement. All right, so I'm going to go to my round command, my circle, and remember, they're always from here, and I'm going to go out 8 inches. So that's a 16-inch table. I probably could have gone to a 24. Let's give that a try. And so 24 would be a 12-inch radius. Nope, see, that's going to be too big. And right now I can't move that. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that circle. But I could probably do a 20-inch. The table that I selected is available in multiple sizes. So I'm going to do a 10-inch radius. Much better. Alrighty. So let's just zoom. We'll try this zoom extents. And see, it gives me my entire room all in one view. Now, on my particular plan, I have a bookcase right over here, and I have a chest of drawers right over here. So I'm going to put those pieces in next. Again, I can zoom in to the area that I want to work in so that I can see it just a little bit better. So here you go. Remember, we don't want any furniture sitting right on the wall, so we want to bring it out 2 inches. And the depth is 18 inches in the red direction. And then I want it 2 inches off of this wall. And then it is a total of 42 inches in width. So this will now be, I don't want a circle, I want a rectangle. This will be my chest of drawers. Then I'm going to move to the other side of the room. And I've already come off 2 inches here. With a bookcase, I could do it probably a little bit tighter. I could probably do it at around 1 inch. So in the green direction, I can go 1 inch. I want it 15 inches deep. And I'm going to come off of this wall 1 inch. And then I have a 60-inch bookcase. So here is my bookcase, just looks like a rectangle in plan view. And there's my bookcase. So now I've put in all the pieces that I need to put in, and we're still working two-dimensionally. And remember, when we're working two-dimensionally, we want to move, if we're going to angle or turn anything or rotate anything, we want to do that right now. Now, I do want to move this table over just a hair. It's bothering me just a little bit. So I'm going to do a move command. And I just want to bring it over a little bit more centered in the 2 chairs that I put at an angle. All right, so the next piece that we want to do is to start I'm ready to start on popping up and using the push-pull command. Now I'm going to zoom out just a hair so we can see this just a little bit better. I'm going to use push-pull, and my back wall, see how it gets dotted? I'm going to pull that up first, and in my case I have a 9-foot ceiling, so I'm going to put 9 and then the feet mark, and it's simply going to rise up to 9 feet. Now this wall is exactly the same, it's 9 feet, so I can either type in 9 feet or I can simply move my cursor over to touch the edge of the other wall, and now I know they're both exactly the same size. Alright, here's my, now I'm not going to do these other two walls because they're not going to be part of my perspective and I want to keep them low. So I'm going to hit on my, these are 27 inches high and 27 inches high, and my bed is at 24 inches. My sofa is 36 inches. I'm using the push-pull command. My coffee table is at 18 inches. My chairs are at 36 inches. 36 inches. My side table is at 27 inches. My bookcase is at 72 inches. And my chest of drawers is 60 inches. So those are all the parts and pieces that I need to pop up. So 100% of my pop-ups have happened. So the next phase, now that we've popped these up, I have 3 windows in my plan. So I need to put them in. I had to pop these walls up before I could do windows. So let me show you how to work that. So the first one is a window that goes right in here. It's kind of a slender window, but it comes right off of the doorway. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit tighter on that wall so I can see it very, very closely, because I don't want to see the whole wall. Just like that. I could flatten it out maybe just a little bit. But I want to make sure that I can click. I'm going to do away with my 2-inch line here, so it do away with some of these because we don't need these at the moment. If you accidentally erase something, you can always do undo erase. Some of these lines can go away. Because I don't need those lines anymore. Or at least not at the moment. I can always put them back in. Alright, so maybe zoom in just a little bit closer. Okay, so my window falls right between these two pieces. So I've left the line, excuse me, I'm going to put another line right next to, and I try not to use that center point. The center point can cause its own set of problems. So I try not to, when I'm using the measuring tool, there we go. So now I want a spot that is halfway in between here and here, and that's 3 feet 2 inches. So that would be 19 inches, right? And then, so now what I'm wanting to do is put a line on this wall. I want a vertical line at this point. So my window is 3 feet, so I'm going to go over 18 inches. And then I'm going to go over 18 inches in the opposite direction. These are in the red direction. It is 30, let's take it 30 inches off the floor. And then the top of my window is a standard, and I'm going to go down just a hair. There we go. The top of my window is at the traditional 6 foot 8 inches. And I type that in. Oops. Excuse me, from the floor. It is 6 foot 8 inches. There we go. See, I put it up here because I took it from there. So 6'8" is the top of my window. So basically what I've done is I've put in some guidelines for my window. And a window is nothing more than a rectangle. So I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to come right down here. And I've placed a rectangle. Now, I'm going to drop down here just a little bit. And then I'm going to zoom so you can see this just a little bit better. I want an angle where I can see the face of this wall and the depth of this wall. So I'm going to do push-pull, and I'm going to click on my rectangle, and then I'm going to push it in that direction. You see that? But I only want to push it as far as the back side of the wall. So I want to be able to click over here. Oops, I let go of it. Never mind. Let me undo the push-pull. All right, we're going to try it again. So I'm going to click and leave my finger down. And see, I can push it way out, but I want it to stop on the other side of the wall. And I let my finger up, and it puts a hole right where I want my window. Do you see that? So I can now see that on the other side. All right, now I have 2 windows on this side of the room. Excuse me. And I'm going to make it the same. So going up the wall, I'm going to go up, I think I said 30 inches. And then from the bottom of the wall up 6 foot 8 inches. And then my window from the inside wall is over 36 inches. And then it is a 30, and you want to make sure you're in the green direction, 36 inches. And then I have a 5 foot, so that's 60 inches. Yeah, look at my plan. 60 inches. And then I have another 36 inches in the green direction, 36 inches. So here are my 2 windows. So I want to first draw a rectangle on the wall, and I want to make sure I got an intersection, and on the intersection, and then I'm going to do this one on the intersection, voila. And now I want to get an angle to where I can see the front of the wall and the thickness of the wall at the same time, because I want to click on that side. So I'm going to do a push-pull. I'm going to click here, push it out until I hit on the edge, and then I'm going to click, push out, and hit, and let go of the window. So those are my openings that are right there. And basically, that's all the information. I'm going to zoom extents. Now I do have my person here, and I do have to locate my person, but we'll do that might as well do it right now. Oops, sorry, I ended. When we locate our person, we want to make sure, I need to open, the person wants to interact with the room. So I'm going to come in and erase. I'm going to, right underneath the edit, if you don't want to click them all one at a time, you can just hit delete grids, and all of your grid lines will go away. Now, I need to put my person inside of my room. I want them to be part of the room, not standing on the side. So I'm going to put my person right over here, maybe right here next to the bed. So I want to put in a intersection line. I'm going to put them right here, right like that. And then probably out maybe about that far inside the room. So now I can identify my person. I'm going to get my angle a little bit better. And I'm going to select my individual. And then I'm going to pick right down here with my move command. I'm going to pick the bottom corner. And I'm just going to hold down my left. And I'm going to come right over here till I hit on the line, or the intersection. This point I have on the line, so I know they're at the right level. So now that I come in here, see how they're now part of the room that I'm looking at. Now I'm just in looking at this, I think this piece of furniture is going to be in my way and it's going to cover up a lot of stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to take it out because it needs to be in my floor plan, but I'm going to drop it down. And did I say it was 60 inches? Oops. Edit, undo, push, pull. I think I did. So I want to drop it down to about 1 inch off the floor. So down 59 inches. And see, now it's still showing up on my floor plan, but look what it does to my view. I have a great view. All right. Okay. So the last thing that we need to do is to come in, is to get everything located and get everything into place, make sure that we can see. This bookcase might actually come out of my view. If I zoom in a little bit, I might want to have a view that's something like that. That bookcase might or might not work. I might go ahead and pull that out. So anyway, that's your basics of how to get your wireframes. And this is really all the farther that we're going to work on this particular exercise as far as popping up our furniture. Everything is there. I'm going to go ahead and delete these lines. And I want to do a save of my document. So I'm going to come up here. It should have been saving about every 15 minutes. And I'm going to do a save. And this is going to be my bedroom my bedroom SketchUp. So you can just put that in there. I want it to go into my documents and then I'll put it into another file. So right now it's the only bedroom I have, so I'll just leave that there. I really don't need any more. But this is all we need for this exercise. All right, I'll see you next time and we'll talk about views and how to get views and how to save them. Thank you very much.